Yo, what is going on, everyone? It's GentooMan here, also known as Rainy, and in today's video, I have another scary story for you guys. You guys seem to really like these, so I have another one for you today. And before we hop into it, I do just want to say, if you wouldn't mind sticking around to the end of this video, I do have kind of a cool announcement for you guys that I'm really excited about, but without further ado, let's get into the story. So I said in one of my last videos that I would be out of town for a couple days, and that I was going to try and record enough videos to post one every day. That didn't end up being the case. I think I put out one while I was gone, so sorry about that, but this story time takes place while I was out of town. While I was out of town, we were staying with my girlfriend's grandparents, and the sleeping arrangement was to be quite packed, if that makes sense. So what was happening is it was like a whole family get together, right, with my girlfriend's family, her whole extended family were staying at this house. So the amount of bedrooms and places to sleep were not exactly plentiful. So me, my girlfriend, and my brother, not my brother, sorry, her brother, ended up getting put in a room in the basement where there was a pull-out couch, and her brother was just going to sleep on the floor because he brought a sleeping bag. He was okay with that. It was his idea, and that's where we were going to be put. And so when we walked down there, I took a look in the room, opened the door, and then I turned on the light and noticed the room was filled with dolls. And I mean filled to the brim with just a bunch of dolls. So I immediately make kind of a smart-ass comment, and I'm like, that's a little horrifying. My girlfriend's like, shh, we don't talk about the dolls. And I'm like, what do you mean we don't talk about the dolls? It's like, I don't know, but we're told not to talk about them, so just don't talk about them. I'm like, okay, cool, sounds good. We toss our stuff in the room, get our bed made up, and we go about the rest of our day doing stuff. We'd gotten there pretty early in the day, so, there was a lot of day left to do. So we did all that, did what we were going to do during the day, till it was finally time to go to bed, and we retreated back to our room. Now, I thought I was going to have a hard time sleeping in a room full of dolls, and to an extent, I was right, but it was dark in there, and you couldn't really see them, because they were on, shelves and whatnot, and the bed was in the middle of the room, so it wasn't really that big of an issue. So we kind of just went to bed, as you normally do, and ended up falling asleep pretty quickly. And yeah, that was good. But then around the same time, me and my girlfriend both woke up because we heard this banging noise on the door. And she asked me, she's like, can you go figure out what that is? And I said, it's probably just one of the animals, because her grandma has a cat and a dog, and some of the family members that showed up brought their dogs and stuff. So I told her, I'm like, it's probably one of the animals. She's like, well, can you go figure out what it is and make it go away? And she kind of laid back down to fall back asleep, which is fair enough. So I stood up and I went to go check it out. Now, as I stood up, this is a very important detail. I remember vividly on the side table next to my side of the bed, there was this doll that had a white dress on and had blonde hair. And I specifically remember it being there because I almost knocked it over when I got up out of bed because I reached for my water, and I almost knocked over this doll. So I specifically remember it being there. Then I went and I opened the door, and of course it was the cat who was just trying to, get some attention. I tried following him around, wondering if he wanted something, but he was just following me around. The cat just wanted attention, which my cat is like that as well at my own house, so I understand that. And, I was kind of just following this cat around until I eventually kind of parted ways with said cat so I could go back to my room and go back to sleep. Now, keep in mind, I was exhausted at this point, right? And I walk back into my room, and where the doll is supposed to be sitting, I see there is nothing. There is no longer anything on this table. And so I kind of write it off immediately. I'm like, yeah, I'm tripping, or something knocked it over. It's not that big of a deal. It's not worth thinking about. I'm exhausted. I'm going to go to sleep. So I go back to sleep, and eventually morning comes, and on the side table there is still no doll, so it's not like it magically returned overnight. And that was kind of the last I thought of it for a little bit. We went about our day once again, did the things that you do when you're hanging out with family, whether it is your family or your significant other's family. I remember specifically throughout the day, we had a lot of dead periods. We weren't doing anything, and I wanted to play on my Switch because I'm doing another run of Outlast 2 on my Switch because, as you all know, I love those games. But Outlast 2, if you've played it or heard of it, is not a very appropriate game for children, so it's not really something I can just play out loud. So if I wanted to play it, I'd have to retreat to the basement, plug my earbuds in so that the small children can't hear or see my game. The only issue with that was I had lost my earbuds. I didn't know where they went. I brought them with me specifically for that purpose, but I couldn't find them anymore, and it was really annoying because I really wanted to play my game, and I searched high and low, but I couldn't find them, so I was pretty annoyed at that, but I just didn't get to play my game. It wasn't the end of the world, but it was pretty annoying, and I thought that was pretty much that. I thought my earbuds were pretty much as good as gone, you know. And yeah, I didn't really think too much of it, other than the fact that I was annoyed throughout most of the day that I just wanted to play my game, but couldn't, until something really strange happened that night. So that night, after the grandparents had gone to sleep, a bunch of people in the house decided to be a funny prank to like take a label maker and put labels on like everything in the house, like just label things as they are because it's funny. And we started like getting a little creative with it, like we labeled the garbage disposal button with dismemberment button. I think we labeled half a lime as just half a lime, you know, just a bunch of dumb shit, but it was just unnecessary and dumb, which is what made it funny. So we were all labeling things and having a blast, and it was a good time until I went downstairs to start labeling things downstairs. We were doing it throughout like the entire house, and then ended up going into my room, and I remember seeing something that I didn't expect to see. I saw the doll, the same one that I thought I had knocked over, sitting where I'd left it, but it was holding my earbuds. My immediate thought was, fuck no, I'm not doing this shit. And I turned around and I left the room. Like, I didn't want to even think about that. I was too busy, like, having fun with the label maker. I was not about to be haunted by some doll. I was not about to let that happen. So I just kind of didn't let myself think about it. I let it leave my mind until finally we were all done with the label maker stuff, and we ended up going to bed. So me, my girlfriend, and her brother all came back to our room, and the doll was gone once again, but my earbuds were in the place where the doll was sitting. I didn't say anything because, you know, I was told not to talk about the dolls, and, you know, I didn't want to like scare my girlfriend with some story. But I did think about it. I went to bed that night not telling anyone about it, but I did. I would be lying if I said I wasn't laying awake for a little bit thinking about it. So that was fun. Anyways, guys, that pretty much wraps up the story time. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new. You all know the drill at this point. And anyways, on to that like special announcement. I actually have a special project coming up soon. I'm making, I believe, an audio drama is what you call it, where it's literally just a story that I'm going to tell that I have coming out real soon. It's called The Cold, and it centers around sort of an apocalypse situation about a group of teenagers who end up stuck in a school in a really bad snowstorm with no signs of stopping, no communication to the outside, and how they end up surviving that. Now, I plan to make it a series, and I'm planning for the first episode to be released on my channel on April 5th. So be on the lookout for that. If you guys do watch it, I really hope you do watch it because I'm really excited about it. I'm in the process of finishing it up right now, finishing up the first episode anyways, and I'm hoping to do weekly releases for the episodes. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. So if you guys want to watch it and support it, that would mean the world to me. So yeah, thank you for listening to this little announcement here. But anyways, guys, with that, that's going to do it for me and for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. You all know that, but I love you all, and I will catch you all in the next one. Later.